My name is Mike Sadler, and I've spent my life with cars. Whether it's sand dunes and drag strips, museums, car shows, even the backyard garage, I'm always on the lookout for speed and shine.
When Hannah makes a claim with America's Preferred Home Warranty, she's able to choose her own licensed contractor for the repairs. But why does that matter? Let's see how it benefits you. First of all, you can choose a licensed contractor you know, or someone who comes highly recommended. Also, you can choose someone available on your schedule. After all, if a repair is urgent, you don't want to be waiting for the warranty company to send someone. You want it done fast. When you choose, you're in control. Your claim is determined using an independent assessment from your licensed contractor. And you can apply your claim payment to the parts and equipment that work best for your needs and budget. Finally, Hannah loves that choosing her own licensed contractor keeps money in her local community, which is a win for everyone. Just remember to always reach out to APHW before starting repairs. It's good to have a choice, and choosing your own licensed contractor with America's Preferred Home Warranty gives you the flexibility and control you deserve.
Hey, welcome back to the second episode of Speed and Shine. On today's episode, we're going to visit our friends at Huffs, and we're going to look at a fuel-efficient sport utility vehicle. We're also going to show you how to change one of your maintenance items on your cars that's often overlooked, and that's the cabin air filter. But first, we're going to check out a very unusual father and son project that I guarantee you've never seen before. So let's go hit the water. So you're probably thinking, hey, that car show thing didn't work out and I switched to fishing, but it's not exactly right. Yes, we do cover all things on wheels. In this boat, it's on wheels. Brent, what made you decide to build this?
Well, it all started about 2.5, 3 years ago on the Gambler. I saw another team, you could say. They had a S10 that they had dropped an old boat on, and there was 4 of them dressed in sailor outfits, and they were just having the time of their lives going through on the Gambler 500. And ever since then I was kind of like, oh, that'd be so cool. And over this last fall I had a couple opportunities pop up, and we ended up making this happen.
So did you go looking for a boat?
I had to, on and off through Facebook, I was looking just on Marketplace, you know, for free ones, because I didn't want to pay anything if I'm going to cut the whole boat up.
So the boat was free?
The boat was free, yes.
And what was wrong with the boat?
The engine was seized and it was sitting on the ground and had been there for about 5 years.
Okay. And because you were putting it on a chassis, you didn't care what the underneath was, right? You just cut that off.
Yep.
All right. And so what are you using for the chassis?
The chassis is a 1999 Chevrolet Suburban 1500.
Okay. Did you have to purchase that?
I ended up trading a Chevrolet Impala for that I had bought for $200.
Now, if I was that guy, I'd want my chassis back with the boat on it. I would trade back now.
I think he would.
Yeah. Yeah. So how many hours do you think you have into this?
Quite a lot.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's 1,000 easily. And that's 2 guys at 1,000 hours, I'm sure. So that's 2,000 combined.
Is it still 4-wheel drive?
Yes.
4-wheel drive all works, and
Yep, the 4-wheel drive works. You just push a button and does it all.
so walk us through the radiator. Where's that located and how's that work?
The radiator I had to take off of the frame because originally it was mounted about here on the frame or so.
Mm-hmm.
And it's now mounted on the front of the boat here inside the bow. So there's a shelf about here where the old cuddy cabin was, and so there's a bench seat. And I took the bench seat out and I put the radiator right on top of it, made some mounts, and it's right there.
And you're using the vent to help vent air out?
Yep. It's been a little warm lately, so I came up with that to open it up and just vent some heat out because it gets warm in there.
Right.
I mean, it's not like a car where the nice cool air comes right in, and nope, it's gotta work at it.
Yeah, it's got to get in there. And it looks to me like you've kept almost all the nautical
Yes,
parts on here, right?
as much as I could, I tried to keep. And even the parts that I couldn't keep, like the steering wheel, I tried to go with something that matched it and things that were similar.
And so the only part that's different from the boat as far as the body of it is just this bottom piece that you had to make, right?
Yep. So from right under this gray pinstripe down all the way back, we had to make a piece. And that's just a piece of the fiberglass that you can get at Lowe's.
Yeah, right. All right, let's go back and look at the back of the boat. This looks way better than most boats as far as how well built that is. Did you make that?
Yes, my father and I, we've done all the fabrication on this from start to finish, and he came up with the general shape and design of it, and he tacked it together and asked me to do the finishing welds on it and such. And
Well, on my boat I had a ladder and it was pretty flimsy. It would have been nice to have something that nice built that well. And of course there you can see the back of it, and you could even pull a trailer.
Yep, you could still use the hitch, and if you wanted to, obviously this flips up for travel, but if you take these two bolts out, this ladder lays flat against the side here, so for when you're turning, it doesn't catch your trailer tongue on this.
So you even thought that through.
Yep.
Now can you imagine the looks when you're pulling a trailer with a boat on it maybe? Right?
Yes, I can imagine the looks. But it's probably similar to the ones that I get now when driving it.
Right, because this can do everything except one thing, right? Which is
it doesn't float. It cannot go in the water.
So if you want to go in the water, you got to take your boat with you. So well, you got a hitch, so you're ready to go.
A hitch, and then this part here that you see, this is actually the body mount, you could say, for the back of the boat. There's a piece of rubber right here, and so here's your fiberglass. Then this is steel up to this point, and
And these are your tail lights. You got
Yes.
some LED tail lights going on there.
I got some nice sequential tail lights.
So it looks like you've made some seats here for people to sit on.
Yes. The whole goal of this was so I could take all my friends and anyone else that wanted to come with me and, share the experience with them, because it's just fun, And so the best way we could figure out to do that was bench seats along both of these sides.
So you had to weld up all that holds that up as well then.
Yep. We have brackets that just flip up, and then we have L brackets underneath that slide over, and then you can sit down. And then these ones just fold up and out on the sides.
And the eye hooks, what are you using those for?
Those are what we attach the seat belts to. They're actually threaded eye bolts with nuts on the bottom, so it's safer. And then you can just clip them out, and then you're good to go.
Great. And so you had to put a roll bar in here?
Yeah, because we want to take it on the sand dunes at some point, and one of the requirements is either a metal roof or a roll bar. And I mean, they don't check to see if it's an actual roll bar. They just leave that up to us so that they don't have the liability issues. But we wanted to make it out of something sturdy, just in case, because it's a tall boat. It's top heavy. If something stupid were to happen, we wanted to be safe.
Right, roll bar will do that. And so you got some speakers here and a nice stereo to listen to?
Yeah. As you know, every good boat has to have a good stereo system. So we had these off of off of a Razor that we had. So, and my dad didn't want to use them on the Razor, so I said, "Hey, we can use those on here."
Well, they look really good and they look like they belong there.
Yes.
The work here on the welding and what you had to make this all work is really well done. It looks great.
It was a lot of trial and error and a lot of thinking, because you want to make it solid, but you also want to make it so that you can service anything that you need to and all that. So
those are the Suburban seats?
No.
Okay.
The Suburban had a blue leather interior, and the seats were shot.
Oh, and you had to have a match, of course. So
yes, and I went to the junkyard or the salvage yard there, and I got looking, and I saw these. I was like, "Oh, these are perfect," because they have 2 armrests, which not much any other seat that I know of has.
Right. Yeah, it looks like it's something that should be in a boat. Now, there's the steering wheel you were talking about, trying to get something that looked nautical.
Yeah. I would have gone with the straight up, pirate ship steering wheel, but I couldn't find an adapter down to that.
So right there is the VIN number, and I can see that is where the windshield would be. So we're setting up quite a bit higher.
Yes.
And so you had to extend the steering mechanism up here.
Yes.
How challenging was that?
It was a little bit of a challenge. So I actually I had to get rid of the universal joint at the bottom because it didn't articulate enough, and it has a CV axle shaft instead of a universal joint. And then I had to lift it up, and it's coming over the top of the firewall versus through the firewall. Okay. The way that it used to be.
Boy, that took some thought.
Yes, it took a few. it took a few tries.
And that's the dash out of the Suburban put up there?
Yep, that is the tack and speedometer and everything. That took a lot of cutting wires and splicing them and making them longer. There's about 50 wires that just go to that tack there. And
really?
Then probably another 50 that go to the steering column. Because that one switch on the left side there, that's your windshield wipers, your headlights, and your cruise control.
And then the controls over there are the headlights.
Yep.
From the Suburban.
That was another bunch of wires extended, and same for the heater controls. And
so you still have heat, so.
Yep.
That's great.
I wanted to keep the heat just for some of those mornings are a bit chilly.
And so that's probably an access panel to get to the engine?
Yes. 2 thumb screws and the panel comes right off.
Can we look at that?
Yes, absolutely. And so that's just your run-of-the-mill 350 Chevy in there. It's the Vortec version of it. But.
And it's fuel injected, so it always starts and runs well. And
correct, yep.
What's the horsepower rating on those?
I think it said it was around 210, 220, somewhere around there. And then about 300 foot-pounds of torque.
And when you drive it, does it feel like it pulls in the traffic well and you have enough, get up to speed?
Yes, if you need to get up to speed, you can get up to speed.
Good.
I just try to drive it slow just because it's not the best. It doesn't handle the best. It's not a sports car. Right. It handles like it handles like a big old Cadillac.
Right, in the air.
Yes, but this high up in the air.
Right. A lot of the hot air come off of when the fan starts up?
When the fan kicks on, I feel it come in through the hole right there underneath the steering column. I feel it on my feet a bit, but otherwise that's about it.
Yeah. having that open would surely help vent some of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
It should help for sure. Absolutely.
Well, this is really awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. It took, like I said, it's just a lot of thinking, but that's something that, you know, we enjoy. We enjoy a challenge of trying to figure out how can I make this work? How can I mount this so that it's serviceable yet out of the way, but solid? And so like the battery's mounted on top of the firewall, and then the engine computer's also mounted on top of the firewall versus it was just out onto the, you know, the inner fender wells.
Sure.
Everything on that inner fender well is up on that firewall just about.
A lot of thought process there to
Yes.
get that all.
And you had to do it all laying on top of that engine. Because we set the boat down, you have to set the boat down before you can mount anything. So
Sure.
it's all done on your back, on your side, and
Crazy.
it got old for a bit there.
I bet.
But
I bet.
it was worth it. The pedals, because the gas pedals also had to get the gas and brake pedal also had to get raised, and that was a hard thing to come up with. The gas pedal was a lot easier. With the brake pedal, I had to actually flip around and up, but it still maintained a similar pivot point.
I see what you're talking about. That is upside down, but
So that takes it's a little different driving because you're pushing forward versus down. That was just the only way we could come up with it without having to do an entirely new master cylinder and running new brake lines to it and
but it worked.
fussing. Yes, it worked, and we tried to keep most of the spaces down as much as we could. So that's actually a door sweep. Right there, cut in half.
Sure, to keep the dust out.
That was a head scratcher because as you're doing research on everything, I wanted to maintain the proper ratio for how long the brake pedal is versus how long the master cylinder gets pushed in.
Right.
So that way that it felt right.
Right.
Because if you do it wrong, you'll push on it like this much and it'll only move this much.
You feel like you won't be able to stop.
Yep.
Yeah. Did you add the fish measurer?
No, that was there when I got it, believe it or not.
Well,
I said it didn't come off with the power washer, and I think it's pretty cool.
it is. So when you're out fishing,
Yeah,
you can
absolutely.
still check your fish size.
Absolutely.
So can we take it for, do you say a ride or a voyage? What do you use?
We can take it for a cruise.
All right. Cruise is the word then. So one last story here. Tell us about this.
So This was kind of an afterthought. This is the gas cap for the boat. Just unscrew it here and there's your gas cap. But as perfect as it looks, I didn't think it was going to end up that perfect because we dropped the boat on with the gas cap door still on and closed.
Oh no.
So you couldn't reach the gas cap, and the tank was almost empty at that. So we're driving around the yard like, please don't run out of gas. Please don't run out of gas.
And then you had to somehow figure out how to cut the hole and then get the flap off.
Yes. So thankfully I was able to, I looked underneath, I could see where the filler neck was.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of put a line on the outside. I drilled a couple small holes, peeked in there, then I drilled about a 2-inch hole, and I was able to, actually see and measure where the center of the gas cap was, and from there I just was able to cut this template out. And I knew I wanted it to be right above this, so I just set it on there.
And that is something for boats, because I've seen those before.
Yes, this is actually generally it's used for the storage areas in the deck. You're able to walk on it.
Mm-hmm.
But it just so happened to work.
Works perfectly.
For this. And thankfully I was able to cut the gas cap door off once I made that 6-inch access hole and everything.
Well, Brent, I want to thank you for sharing this with us.
Absolutely.
It's quite a feat, and as long as I live, I'll be telling people about my friend Brent, who built a boat car, and we went for a ride today, and it actually felt like you were riding a boat, even though you were on the road.
Yes,
so thank you.
Absolutely. Anytime you want, just give me a holler, and you'll see me down at the car shows on Friday evenings, anytime I can, as long as Mama wants to ride Jasper, because he's not big enough to ride in here yet. So.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to put a car seat in there, right?
It's really hard to take an infant with you in this. Well, you can't.
I think you'll be easy to spot, not just because it's a boat, but the crowd at the car shows that will be around it. So,
absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Well, Gary, back here at Huffs Auto to see some of this inventory, and there's a beautiful orange Jeep. What do we have?
We have a 2018 Compass, 30,000 miles, 4x4, beautiful orange in color, just a nice vehicle. Excellent gas mileage, 33 in the highway, 23 in the city. Just a really nice sport utility, and real economical to use also.
There's not even a scratch or a ding on this car. It's in great shape.
Yeah, nice one owner.
Now this one's a manual transmission.
It is a 6-speed transmission.
It's got a really nice interior. It's got some WeatherTech-like floor mats, but they say Jeep.
Yeah, they got the rugged Jeep floor mats in there. Plus it's got the factory floor mats in the back.
A neat design in the seat, in the fabric. Oh, I see it has a backup camera. Again, nice, clean.
Plenty of storage space in the back.
Yeah. It's even got a 12 volt, so you can plug something in. I suppose this is a spare tire.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's got a tire service kit, a little air compressor.
Mm-hmm.
So Gary, this size of sport utility vehicle is smaller than most. So who would this be designed for? Who normally buys these?
A lot of people buy these that are looking for gas mileage in a sport utility, something that feels big but it's still small. I mean, the acoustics are really good, and there's actually a lot of room in there, even though it is a small car, but it gives you all the luxury of a full-size four-wheel drive too.
Right, so you get the four-wheel drive, but you really get the good gas mileage along with it.
Absolutely.
Well, Gary, when I came here today, I couldn't find a place to park with all these cars you have for sale.
Yeah, it's hard to find a parking spot here. We have over 150 cars on the lot right now.
Wow, and how long have you been in business?
Don and I have been in business 42 years.
Wow,
in Jackson.
That's incredible. That says something about doing something right, to be in the car business that long.
Yeah, we love the car business. It's been fun.
I bet. So, thank you for showing us this great car for sale, and if you're interested in this Jeep or any other vehicle you could think of, or may want, come on down to Huffs Auto. And how would they do that? How do they get a hold of you if they're looking for something?
You can give us a call at Huffs Auto Group. The number is 780-4994, or get us on the web at huffautogroup.com.
Now that it's winter and you got to roll your windows up and run the heat, you're probably wondering, what is that smell? Well, I guarantee you it's probably your cabin air filter. Most people don't even know they have it. Most late model cars have a cabin air filter. You can check your owner's manual to find out the location, where it is, and how to change it. Some of them can be challenging, so I suggest you put your make, model, and car, and you want to change your cabin filter, into YouTube, and you find out, because somebody out there figured out a faster way to do it. I consider myself a YouTube certified mechanic. So let's see what my air filter looks like. I haven't changed mine. I've been bad. I haven't followed the manufacturer's recommendation. I guarantee you it's dirty. So in this particular model, we have to remove these Jesus clips. And I call them Jesus clips because if you break or lose them, you're going to say, Jesus, what do I do now? So I'll get these off. And it says that I need to pull up on this cowling and snap it out of place. Oh, there we go. And right there it is. That's where the cabin air filter is. I'm going to snap it out of there. And you can see I've been bad not keeping up with the maintenance there. That's what my lungs are breathing. All the air going through there has to go through that stuff, and then I breathe it. So there's a certain direction for airflow there. So we're going to take that out. Lay that dirty filter there. And we're going to put this clean one in. Put it in this little holder here, back in there, fit it in the groove. There we go. It's all in there. I'm going to lift this back up. Catch it in the bottom there, snap it in. There we go. Snapped into place. Put this back down. Snap that clip into place. Grab our clips there. Got to ease this little pop-up plastic screw up, put it in place, snap it down, get this one prepared. And there you have it. I'll be breathing clean air again, and my lungs are going to thank me. Hey, I hope you enjoyed today's episode as much as I did. I think we can all agree that is one of the most unusual things you're going to see here on the roads in Michigan. And you know what? If you build an unusual vehicle and you're in the mid-Michigan area, contact us at our webpage, speedandshine.com. And if you're looking for more video content, go to our YouTube page, Speed and Shine TV. Until next time, keep those wheels clean.
Hey, I found a Jesus clip.
I thought, does that even come all the way up? This is fun. You're still filming. That's a good time.